Hello, we're going to take a look at slope-intercept form. In equation, we can write a slope-intercept form with the equation y equals mx plus b. And when we write this equation, we know that m stands for your slope and b is your intercept. In order to identify the slope and the y-intercept from an equation, though, we need to make sure that your equation is written in the correct slope-intercept form. So let's take a look. Here we have an equation, 2x plus y equals 3. Well, we have an issue. The 2x is not with a 3, which is what it needs to be, because remember the equation is y equals mx plus b. So we really need that y to be by itself, and we need the 2x on the other side of the equation. Well, how do we get rid of the 2x? The same exact way we've been doing with one-step and two-step equations. So in order to get rid of the 2x, you can simply take and subtract 2x from both sides. If you subtract 2x from the left side here, that just leaves you with just the y. So you'll have nothing there. And then over here, we can't combine these because this is a constant and this is a variable. So that leaves us there with y equals 3 minus 2x. Good news, we are now in slope-intercept form. So we can now identify both the slope and the y-intercept. So they've rewritten this here to make sure it's in the exact format. You could have identified it, I guess, the other way too, but to be safe, they've changed this into the correct form so that your x is first and then your constant. So now we know that here is your m is your slope. So your slope is -2. 3 is your y-intercept, which is b. And so now we have been able to identify both the slope and the y-intercept. All right, so here's another example. Again, this is not written in the correct form, so we are going to need to do some moving here. We need to get rid of this 4x on this side with the y. So let's go ahead and do that. Maybe we would do that by subtracting 4x from both sides. That's going to leave us with the y on the one side. It's going to leave us with 4 minus 4x. Again, if you want to go ahead and put this in the correct form, you need to flip around these two. This negative sign goes with the 4x, and then this positive, since it does not have a sign in front of it, would be this 4 does not have a sign in front of it, it would be positive. So if we rewrite that, it would be looking like this. Y equals -4x plus 4. We now should be able to identify what the slope is and identify what the y-intercept is. So this one looks a little funky. If you notice, we have your y with a coefficient beside of it, and then we are missing here. We are missing what has normally been there for the b. So we're going to get rid of the 5 here. We want the y to be by itself. This is currently 5 times y, so the opposite of times y would be divide by. So we divide this by 5 and we divide this by 5. This cancels each other out, which would give us y equals 3/5 x. And then you can add a 0 in here because technically that's what it is it's 0. There's nothing there. Then you can identify your slope, and you can identify your y-intercept. All right, here's one more. I'd like you to pause and try this one out yourself now. Remember, you want to get this y by itself, and this is currently being multiplied. The opposite of multiplication is division. Go ahead and pause and try that one. All right, so if we divide both sides by 7, again, we still are missing that b there. There's nothing there, which means that would be 0. Same thing. You can identify the slope and the y-intercepts. All right, thanks for watching.